There's a good chance the only conversations you have had with your teenager about social media are negative. How much they're on social media, what they're seeing, what they should or shouldn't be saying or doing. Well, my next guest wants to flip that script. In fact, she believes parents can learn a lot from their kids, the ones growing up in the social media society. She's compiled a list of 5 things teens wish parents knew about their screen time. Amy Rasmussen spends a lot of time with teenagers as a motivational speaker and lead director at Ivy Girl Academy. She's also a mom with a preteen, so there's some street cred there as well. It's nice to meet you, nice to have you.
Thank you.
So this idea of seeing it through their lens, seeing it through their eyes, does that help us as parents, do you think, guide them in the end?
Absolutely. I think starting those crucial conversations when they're young, maybe even before 10 years old, before they have a smart device, can really set you up for success later down the road because it's new territory for all of us. So seeing what they're going through, how we can adapt it to our parenting is really, I think, vital in future success with this particular age.
I'm not in this stage or this age yet, but I can already foresee how easy it is to kind of give it the eye roll. Oh my gosh, social media is a waste of time. This is a stupid use of your time. You could be doing this and this and this and making a difference in the world. Is that a mistake to let those sentiments fly out of our mouths?
I actually do think it is. We have to use our words so carefully because the minute we relate, this is a waste of time, this is stupid, you could be doing so many better things. What that translates to them is what you love and what you care about is stupid and it's a waste of time and you could be doing something better. Well, newsflash parents, this is relevant to them. And if we can speak their language and use what they're doing online to better themselves or to better us at home, they can do amazing things. We just have to listen.
They might not appreciate the criticism. You say they do appreciate the questions. It's okay to ask your teenagers more about their social media use.
Yes, there's a lot of good online, and I think we have to recognize that. There's a lot of bad in the world, there's good in the world, but they're navigating it just like we had to. They're just doing it through a smaller screen. So I think when we can break down some of those boundaries and break down those stereotypes and really come together and use some ideas and bounce ideas and have conversations, they're interested in what we went through.
What if, though, Amy, they aren't upfront about what they're doing or they aren't forthcoming and sharing with what they're doing online? Then what?
Then what? So ideally, if your child, it's not a matter of when they see something inappropriate, it's when, not if. So ideally, if they can come to you, I would lead with love and be very understanding and appreciate and commend their bravery first for coming to you. If you're not so lucky to have an open teen, if you happen to see it on a device or you find out that they're looking at stuff that's affecting them, again, lead with love. That's our first instinct is to fight, to protect them. So we take away their device or we shut down what's important to them. And I think if we lead with love, we open up so many more doors to create maybe consequences together. So if they see something that's wrong or affecting them, work with them through the problem. Fight with them, not against them.
You touched on this. Teens would love their parents to appreciate and recognize there are great things happening online. There's good happening online. And you suggest also setting boundaries, that if your teen makes mistakes, expect that and work with them, like you were talking about, work with them, not against them.
Yes, I think it's important to give them a victory. If they come to you and they're saying, hey, I'm being affected, or this is really tough, like there's a lot of bullying online, or I'm really being affected by the things that I'm seeing, give them a victory and say, good for you. I'm so glad you recognize that. They're learning leadership skills. They're learning how to position themselves in this crazy world. So instead of saying, well, yeah, it's bad, you should stay away from it, that's defeat. So give them a victory and recognize the good that they are seeing online and really champion them in good decision making.
I have to champion parents too, because in one sense they're scrambling to catch up, right? We didn't grow up with this. This isn't our world. Is it fair to say social media is the new way teens socialize? Do we just need to accept that? Is that healthy?
You know, I kind of look at it, I've talked to lots of teens, I've talked to lots of parents and educators, and they say this social media thing. Well, guess what? It's here to stay. And I don't think it's a social media experience. I think it's a life experience. So it is new for us. And I have a preteen, like you mentioned, and trying to figure out dating and relationships and where to go from there is new territory for all of us. But what we can do, again, is go back to those crucial conversations and communicate, not only through words, but through our actions. If we say, I trust you, then you actually have to exercise trust. Don't stand over their shoulder and watch every move that they make. Until they give you a reason not to trust them, you need to actively trust them.
But you also hinted at that verbal conversation happening up front. And one of your main points is that teens don't want to learn about dating online. They want to have still that verbal stimulation, that conversation with a parent.
Yes, and I think it's healthy too. And it's about creating that terminology really early on so that, like we talked to our 6-year-old about pornography and how it relates to him in the future. He's not looking at it currently, but chances are when he grows up, 16, 17, he'll be faced with it. So taking the taboo and the terminology and creating healthy dialogue in our homes is really, really important.
So under this social umbrella then, Amy, do you think we need to distinguish as a parent, help our kids distinguish social media relationships from real life relationships? Is that an important distinction to make?
Yeah, they're having a really hard time taking an online conversation and giving real life experience to it, or having face-to-face conversation. So something I gave a challenge to a group that I spoke at was actually to a group of parents. I said, invite all of your friends, all of your kids' friends over and have a great big mix and mingle. Like, it sounds silly, but take their phones away and give them games and give them social interaction.
Help them.
Yeah, because they're so safe behind a screen. They feel, you know, that they can say no wrong, they can do no wrong, but it's a voice for them. It absolutely is a voice for them. So give them safe arenas to kind of be together where you have control of what's going on, and give them suggestions. Well, when I was your age, you know, because we were all there, we all did it, but kind of relate those real life experiences back to them and realize this is normal for you, here's what was normal for us. And hopefully they can make the connection.
This is a really helpful perspective for parents out there. I know I was listening with open ears, so thank you so much.
You're welcome.
These are the kind of healthy conversations they're always promoting at Ivy Girl Academy. We'll link you over to their website, ivygirlacademy.com, for more information about their programs and workshops.